Michael, we are good to go. We can start.
Good news. All right, good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, I guess, for you all. It is 6:05 a.m. here in sunny New Mexico. We are expecting a high temperature of about 35 degrees Fahrenheit here today, so it's going to be a bit chilly here in New Mexico in Albuquerque. Um, we did have some snow up in the northern mountains last night, which was nice. So it'll be a beautiful drive into work today. I'm with the University of New Mexico, and I'm going to jump into the PowerPoint here in just a second. Um, but we are located in Albuquerque, right in the center of the state. It is a beautiful, wonderful place. It gets a little warm in the summer, a little cold in the winter, but the rest of the year is bright, sunny, sunshine, and light jacket to shorts weather all year round. So it's fantastic. So let me pop on the PowerPoint. So let's see. You all should be able to see that with my name and everything on it. Can I get a thumbs up if you can see that, pretty please?
Yes, we
Perfect.
can.
Head shake. Oh, for thank you. New Mexico. We are not new, and we are not and we are not Mexico. We are just north of the Mexican border. We are tucked right here between Arizona, Texas, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Utah. So we are in the southwest part of the United States. Like I said, we share the same weather as northern Arizona, northern Texas, where again, not very hot, not very cold, just a wonderful climate all the way across. The university itself sits right in the middle of the state, sits in Albuquerque, New Mexico, right here in the middle. We are surrounded by mountains on two sides. Albuquerque is. We have the foothills of the Rocky Mountains come down and surround Albuquerque. So we are in a very high valley, again, temperate weather and everything, which just makes it for an amazing place to study and to stay. University of New Mexico itself, you can find us on the internet pretty easy. My website, international@unm.edu. We have about 23,000 students on campus. So we're a fairly large campus, but not, incredibly large compared to some of the schools in the US and around the world. We do offer over 200 degree plans in bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and PhDs and graduate certificates. These are all spread out across the university in 12 colleges, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But we do have something for everybody, and when I say something, I mean something for everybody. I had an international student last year who graduated with a PhD in the oboe, uh, which is a woodwind instrument. So we do have programs just about for everybody. We are a R1 research university, which means our National Science Foundation has rated us as one of the top research universities in the United States. And that research is not only in the STEM fields, but it is also in the humanities and the arts fields and science fields also. So there is research opportunities available for everyone. And of course, we are part of the NCAA college basketball, football, and all those great athletic sports that you see on TV and around the world. So we participate at a very high level in all of those events. And then there at the bottom left corner, you can see our best dates for consideration. Those dates are fairly hard. However, if we do have a student or you have a student that may be applying a bit late and you can give me a good reason why, then we will take a look at that. But that is on a case by case basis. But these dates are fairly solid for us. University of New Mexico, we've been around since 1889. That's 137 years. So we've got a bit of experience with education here in the state of New Mexico. Our campus is large. It's about 700 acres, which doesn't mean a whole lot to you, but let's call that, let's see, that is about 26 square miles. So in kilometers, triple that. So that is about 70, 78, 79 square kilometers. So it is a very large campus. Again, high desert climate, 300 days of sunshine at least, generally more. The 29,000 students, we have 4 additional campuses, so we have another 6,000 students spread out on those 4 campuses in addition to the 23,000 students on our main campus. International students, like I said, we have a nice sized population, about 1,500 international students. That's about 900 or so are graduate students. The rest of them are undergrad students, or they are Fulbright scholars, or short-term scholars, or things along those lines. But it is about a population of just over 1,500. Student faculty ratio, important for a lot of different reasons. Class size, we keep our class sizes fairly small. Yes, the students in their first freshman year classes, especially in the math, the chemistries, and some of the other lecture classes, will have classes of about 200 people in the lecture halls. But once we get past those classes, then the class sizes really start reducing because, again, we have 200 different degree programs. So that makes for a lot smaller classes, which means the students are getting a lot more attention from their faculty and from their staff. Excuse me. And it's easier for those students to be able to ask questions in class and to have a true relationship with their faculty members instead of just being somebody that stands in front of a room and just lectures to them and they're taking notes as fast as they can. Like I said, we do have a couple different colleges and schools spread out across campus. Your application for undergraduate students is the same, no matter which degree program that the students are going into. The graduate program applications tend to be a bit different for each college, but the undergraduate application is exactly the same. Anderson School of Management, probably one of the top 15 business schools in the United States. The cool thing for them on their master's program side and PhD side is they're a flat tuition rate program. So international students and domestic students all pay the same price at the Anderson School of Management for master's degrees and PhD degrees. And that rate is tagged at the in-state tuition rate. So it is very affordable for a business school. The School of Architecture and Planning, again, fairly large school on campus. We tend to have a very robust population of students inside the School of Architecture and Planning. Landscape architecture is probably the biggest program inside the School of Architecture and Planning. However, city planning and municipal planning is also one of the larger programs inside the school. The College of Arts and Sciences, that covers everything. You know, that is your chemistry, your physics, your sociology, psychology, all those different types of programs are tucked in there. The College of Education, probably our second largest college behind this College School of Engineering on campus. College of Education, think primary education, secondary education, special education teachers. Then also you can get your master's and PhDs in education administration and a bunch of other different fields. We tend to have quite a few students from across the world coming into our College of Education. They are some amazing people over there. They love our international students, and they are always happy to talk one-on-one with international students. They are a fantastic group of folks. School of Engineering is the largest school on campus. It is huge. It houses probably 50% of our student population. All the engineering programs that you can imagine, plus more. As you know, everybody is asking about artificial intelligence these days. Us, like many schools, do not have an official degree in artificial intelligence. However, you can specialize in that as an undergraduate by adding additional computer science programs to your traditional engineering program. And then as a graduate student in a master's and PhD, you can certainly specialize in the study of artificial intelligence and however you want to do that. There is no diploma that will say artificial intelligence. There are very few places in the world that will have that, but you
Michael,
could certainly get the programs.
excuse me,
Go ahead,
Michael.
Neil.
I
For
think your screen is only on the name of the college page. So, I mean,
really?
we
So
were
you're not seeing
discussing
anything
about.
switch?
No, we only saw the name of the colleges, like, School of Architecture, Anderson School of Management. That page is visible and not the program pages.
So you're seeing the it says University of New Mexico with a list of the colleges
Yes,
on it?
yes, yes.
Yeah, I haven't switched to that yet. I'm still,
All
oh,
right.
that's the screen I'm on.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, the colleges is too much information to put on a slide, so I'm just covering them quick. Uh, College of Fine Arts, students that are interested in digital media are interested in sculpture, dance, music. We have programs for all of those students. School of Nursing, College of Nursing. We have a fantastic medical school here on campus. Nursing programs starting from students who are getting into nursing for the very first time, huge programs. And then we have programs for students that are seeking a master's level or even a doctorate level of nursing. And then, of course, our School of Medicine, Law, and Pharmacy are all here at the University of New Mexico. All of our different organizations on campus, you can reach us through the website, but I'm just going to say this here. The Global Education Office, we host, I don't know, probably 40 or 50 events each semester for our international students. So even if an international student decides to do only the Global Education Office events, they're going to have plenty of opportunities to socialize and meet new people. However, on campus, we do have tons and tons of student organizations. Like here it says over 400 student organizations and clubs, and that is everything from our sports clubs to our socialization clubs, all the way up to our professional development clubs, which would be clubs that are surrounded by, your professional societies, the American Association of Automotive Engineers, the Society of Petroleum Engineers, the Society of Chemical Engineers, all those different professional organizations are available on campus. Of course, the city of Albuquerque also offers tons and tons of events. The cool thing with Albuquerque and the University of New Mexico, we are right in the middle of town. So almost all of the events that students would want to attend by the city are easily, you can walk to them, you can grab a bus, which right now is free in the city of Albuquerque, free transportation to get to any of these events. So super easy to get there. The admissions checklist part of it here, pretty simple, pretty standard. Of course, students will have to go to the Apply Now button and click that link, start the process, fill out all the information, submit the application. We will not look at an application unless it is completely submitted, and that includes having paid the application fee. Once we get that application, we're going to review that. We're going to look at, obviously, at a student's original transcripts and credentials. The transcripts must be sent directly from the student's school. They cannot come from the agents. They must come from the school. And yes, I know this is a huge pain and a lot of trouble, but it is currently the policy of the University of New Mexico that those results have to come from the school. Easy thing is they can be emailed from the school. The school just needs to let us know which student that they're sending the transcripts for, and then we'll place them with the student in the right place. I see a question. Go ahead. Yash.
Hi, Michael. Good morning. So my
Morning.
question is regarding this official transcript only. So it is required for undergrad student as well?
Undergrads have to send us their official transcripts right away. Master students and PhD students can apply with their unofficial transcripts. And then once they are admitted to the university, they will be required to send us from their school their official transcripts.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Good question. Thank you. And we'll look over all these transcripts. and it is a large pain in the butt for my staff to look over all of them, but that is the policy of the university right now, so we do that. Test scores for students. We have all the traditional test scores that you see here, our testing service that you see here, and we are also adding the Oxford English test coming early next year. So we're going to have another test that's available for our students to take. If a student happens to take the SAT, it is not required. But if a student does take the SAT and they score at least a 500 on reading and writing, they do not need to provide any more additional English proficiency exams. The SAT would be perfectly fine as long as they score a 500. Again, students do not have to take the SAT for admission or the ACT. It's not required. But if they do take those, we are happy to look at those scores and happy to use those to help place the students into the proper classes. For our graduate students, obviously the English proficiency exam is required also, and some departments may require the GRE record exam. There's also, if you have questions about the GRE and if it's required or not for a department, you can always contact me, but there is a link on our website to the GRE required, to the departments that require the GRE. And I will send that out here later with the copy of this PowerPoint to make sure you do that. It's just a quick way to see if the department is requiring it. While not all departments will require it, the students are encouraged to take the GRE because it will help in determining if we offer those students assistantships. The students who score well on the GRE and who have a great application packet are more likely to receive assistantships as graduate students than those students who do not take the GRE and have a poor application packet. And some of the graduate departments will have additional requirements. Some departments require a portfolio. Some departments require a writing sample. Some departments require an in-person or a virtual interview. There's just a couple different things that a couple departments will do, and that is on each of their websites and on their application packages. So, and I can also help you sort through that process if you have any questions. All right. Third-party contact. Inside each application, there's going to be a section called third-party contact. That is where your students should place your agency's name. And if you need to track which agent, you can also put which agent with the agency. So down here, my last presentation was with Adventus. So you're going to put Adventus and then / your name or, the master agent's name, whichever way you want to do that. But if you can get that information into the student's application right away, that will make my life easier. That will make your lives easier. And plus it helps me pay you, which is the way we want it to work. Any questions about that? All right, we're moving on here. Supporting documents, obviously you're going to need, again, like I said, the English proficiency tests. Most of them can be sent directly through the testing service to us. When you log into the testing services, it's just going to have the University of New Mexico, and it may have a drop-down list for graduate or undergraduate. It doesn't really matter which one you click because they both come to us. So it's not really difficult. Just click one of them and it'll come right to us. The GRE, again, could be uploaded directly into the application as well as the GMAT if you're looking at law school or medical school. Transcripts, again, from the university or from the institution they were most recently at need to be sent directly to us. If you have a student that has attended 2 or 3 different high schools, we need transcripts from each of those high schools. So 9, 10, 11, and 12, or 13 if they've gone through 13, depending on what the students are doing. So all that will have to be sent directly to us from the schools. This is where we have the biggest slowdown in student applications because we'll end up getting, the students 10th and 11th, but we won't have the 9th or the 12th. or will get just the 12th and nothing else. So we do need to have those comprehensive transcripts because we do base our scholarships on the total GPA, cumulative GPA of those students from their previous institutions. So we do need to have those. And I'm not sure what's with all the red marks all over my screen here, but
Yes, Michael, even we can see the red marks. I'm not sure how they have appeared.
yeah, me either. Not sure, but there they are. So they're up there. This English proficiency, this is our scores right now. And this is directly on our website. You can go to International UNM.edu and you can pull this information up. Again, the scores are fairly low. They're a little bit high, but they're not horribly high. So they're achievable for a large population of students around the world. So if you have any questions about that, just let me know. As you can see, obviously, the graduate are a bit higher than the undergraduate. And I can tell you the higher your scores for graduate students, the more likely you are to receive assistantships or financial support for your education. These are our deadlines. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The only thing that's a bit unique here, summer deadlines, we generally do not accept undergrad students in the summer. So keep that in mind. And grad departments, not all graduate departments, academic departments will accept grad students in the summer. So if a student just applies for the summer without contacting us, we will move them to the following semester. So if you have a student who's interested in applying for the summer, please contact me directly, and we'll look to see if that department is accepting graduate students for the summer. Graduate deadlines also are a bit different within the academic departments, as they sometimes have different deadlines also. So my deadline for spring semester may be October 1st, but the graduate department that you're applying to might actually have a deadline of, let's call it September 2nd, just because they want to review applications a bit longer, or they have students submit writing samples and they need those samples. So make sure you are keeping an eye on those deadlines for your students, and whoever made those red lines go away. Thank you so very much. This right now is our cost of attendance. This has changed just a little bit, not very much, maybe a couple $100 or so. But currently, for our students who are completely unsupported, have no scholarships, and are paying everything out of their pocket, tuition and fees for 1 year with 15 credit hours per semester will be about $25,660. Now that'll change depending on the type of courses they take and things along those lines, but that is an estimate. Room and board for everybody is going to be basically the same. This room and board is figured on 2 students living together, sharing an apartment, each student having a meal plan, paying for their own books, their own transportation, and their own insurance and miscellaneous expenses. Comes out to about $26,500 a year. The next thing there is resident tuition. As you can see, there is a huge difference between resident and non-resident tuition. And I'm going to get to that in a minute here with just a second. So the resident tuition is what my son would pay at the University of New Mexico. And so I would be out of pocket about $38,575 for my son to go to school for a full academic year and to live in Albuquerque for a full 12 months. The International Amigo Scholarship is our largest scholarship. This is a tuition scholarship. So what that means is it takes the student from the high level of non-resident rate tuition. So it takes the students from the non-resident tuition, $25,660, and takes them down to resident rate tuition, which is the $11,725. So it is a huge savings per year on tuition. There's a couple other couple $100 that we add in there also to help save the students some money. So it does that. The leadership scholarship, as you can see with the rules there, is also a tuition scholarship. It just does not lower the tuition as much as the Amigo scholarship does. The Amigo scholarship is something that I administer. I personally make the decision on who gets the Amigo scholarship and who doesn't. It is always a joy in my day to be able to give away the university's money. So if your students are close in their GPAs, I will do my best to bend the rules as much as I can to make sure that students are getting, the Amigo scholarship or the leadership scholarship as much as I can. So any questions about the scholarships? All right. Graduate students also can get the Amigo scholarship. So graduate student applies, they have at least a 3.0 from their previous undergraduate degree program. We're going to automatically just give them the scholarship. For each of these scholarships, there is no additional paperwork. There is no additional requirements. Everything just comes into my office. We review every student's application for scholarship. And if they qualify, we give that scholarship to them. There's no writing of letters, no mission statements, no letters of purpose, none of those things. Because I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to read all that stuff. And B, just working off a GPA is much easier. That's why the students' transcripts are so important and that we get those in a timely manner so that I can make my decisions on the scholarships as quickly as we can for the students. We also have English language program. One of our programs is called the Pathways program, lasts about a semester and is 4 classes or full-time inside each semester. And if a student does a full year of the English is a second language program and passes with a C or better, we will automatically waive the English proficiency exam for those students so they don't have to take an additional exam. It's kind of handy. The classes are fairly affordable for the CLAC program. Many students come to us through the CLAC program, probably 15 or 20 a year, and tend to do very, very well at the university because the English language program not only prepares them for English proficiency, but it also helps the students get used to the way the university works, the area, the Albuquerque area, and just an understanding of how education in the United States works. It's a really great program and very affordable. So this is our library, and this is a normal day in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The library's been around. Was built in 1930, so it's a very old building. It has kind of that Hogwarts feel when you get inside of it. Large, big, ornate rooms, study halls, of just beautiful areas in it. But if you look closely, behind the library here, this whitish building is actually part of our University of New Mexico Hospital. And then you can see the mountains in the background and how close they truly are to the university. It's just a beautiful place to get an education, tons of green spaces, lots of great, amazing views. This photo here is some of our dormitories and our housing, plus one of our athletic fields here in front of the building. Again, just a great view and just a great place to relax and study. Our architecture building, just a work of art all on its own. And then, of course, the University of New Mexico participates in Division I athletics. This is a football game here that we had in the last couple of years at the university. Stands are full, tons of people, and it is an amazing atmosphere for students to go and socialize and hang out. And students do generally get to go for free or for very affordable. I, on the other hand, have to pay like $45 a ticket to go. So the students have a great opportunity to attend the events. And I'm going to stop my share there and see if you all have any questions that I can answer for you. I know I went through this a little quick, but again, I will be providing the PowerPoint to Niloufar and a bunch of other information and links with some links that will help you all with any questions that you might have. My email is, I'm going to put it in the chat. Let's see if I put that right. Oh, I didn't. I missed something here. So that is my direct email. If you have any questions about a particular student or you want to track something, please let me know. Please do not give that email to students. I already have 2 or 3 other email accounts that I get that the students have access to. So just let me know. There is no I-20 deposit. We don't do that. We do not have too much of a trouble with students, using different IDs and just our different I-20s and going to other schools. Most students who end up getting an I-20 from us tend to come to us here at the university. So we do not have a deposit at this time. And plus, it's just unfair to provide another hurdle for students to have to cross. It's already expensive enough to come to the U.S., and adding an I-20 deposit on there for no reason is just not cool. At-home additions, TOEFL and Pearson are accepted. That's no problem. We do take those. Again, they just have to be sent to us through the testing service.
Michael, do you accept home-based TOEFL test?
We do, yes.
You do.
Yep. Again, those results just have to be sent to us through the testing services. Is official score reporting only required for TOEFL, Duolingo, and SAT only? I'm not sure. We need official scores from everybody. Obviously, TOEFL, Duolingo, and SAT come through the testing services themselves, but students can upload their other exams to us, and then we will verify those exams through the services. We do not just take a paper and look at it and go, yes, that's fine. I'm not that trusting. But we do verify all of them. But of course, TOEFL and Duolingo, SAT, and now Oxford will all go through the testing services themselves to be sent to us. Course by course evaluation. Okay, let's talk about any backlog criteria for masters. And MOI is not accepted. We never accept MOI under any circumstances. Backlog criteria for masters, yes, it's fine. There is, if a student is laid out for a while or we're waiting on some transcripts, we can start the application process like that, but we will need the officials prior to the student being actually admitted to the university. So backlogs are fine. They just take a little extra work on the student's behalf and on ours.
So
Course by course value.
any
Go ahead.
cap on the backlog, Michael?
Any gap? Is that what you said?
As any number of backlog accepted? I mean, do you have any limitation on the numbers?
We don't. We're going to look at it, especially on the masters. We'll look at it on a case-by-case basis. If the academic department is okay with it, then we're okay with it. And each department's a little bit different. I'd love to be able to tell you if there was a definitive line, but there is not. Course by course evaluation. The only time we really require a course by course evaluation is if the student is intending to transfer credits into the university. So let's say they've done 2 years at a home institution somewhere, and they want to continue their bachelor's program at the University of New Mexico and try and count those credits. Then we would need a course by course evaluation, and that becomes a bit tricky because it takes forever to do that. So what we would do is we'd admit the student, and then the student would be there for probably about a semester before we really find out which credits are going to transfer in and which ones are going to count towards their degree.
Okay.
We
So
do
is
our
it
best.
all right? Sorry.
We do our best to take as many credits as we can. We're generally in the 75 to 85 percentile of number of credits that we take. So we try and make it, again, as we try and keep the students to as minimum amount of funding that they have to spend for their education as we possibly can. Go ahead,
Michael, I
Nielsen.
have a question.
Sure.
Irrespective of the course by course evaluation, does the University of New Mexico requires credential evaluation? Course by course was too specific to us, so let's ask if the credential evaluation is required or not required.
It's not required because we'll do most of it. If it's from a university or a high school that we know, then it's going to be no problem.
Okay.
We have right now, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 academic institutions in India that we know of. So we've got a pretty good start on what we know.
Okay.
If there is something in the application or the transcripts that don't make any sense to us, we will reach out directly to the student and ask them questions that we need to know.
Okay.
Let's see, 15 years of education accepted. Yes, as long as it's from an A-rated school and as long as that student is going into a degree field that is similar to the field that they have their 15-year education from. If that makes sense to everybody. Open school distance education is accepted. I don't understand that question. Whoever asked that, could you kind of explain
Yes,
what you're talking about?
these are the other boards like National Open School, and distance education means where the student don't attend the college in person.
Okay, so right now, we'd have to look at that on a case by case. So I would need to see, we would have to look at the transcripts and then we'd have to do a ton of research to see if the open schools are accredited by your national accreditation boards in India, and we would take a look at that and look at the accreditation. I'd love to say yes, 100%, but I am not going to say that at this point in time. So we'd have to take a look at it. Transfer applications are always accepted. Happy to have transfer students. Takes a bit longer to get their transcripts evaluated because we're bringing in credit from another institution, but we certainly do that if it's a transfer student from inside the US. So let's say it's one of your students who decided to go to the University of Wisconsin and now they want to transfer to the University of New Mexico. That is super easy and super fun for us to do. If it's a student that went to the University of Bangalore and now is transferring to the University of New Mexico, happy to have them. Transcript evaluation's a bit more tricky, but we can certainly make that happen. Are all graduate courses available for summer intake for international students? No, they are not. We discussed this earlier in the presentation. Only a few graduate departments will accept students for the summer intakes, and that changes every year because it changes with the number of faculty who want to teach over the summer. It changes with the degree programs each summer. So that is a case-by-case basis. So reach out to me, and we'll have that discussion to find out if, the students are eligible to be enrolled for summer programs. Excuse me.
So the summer programs are not listed on the website, as in if any applicant.
Summer programs are not listed on the website because there is no definitive list of programs that offer summer intake. It changes every year, so it is not on there. In most situations, the answer is no, there is no summer intake, but in a few there is. Are financials required at the application stage? No, financials are only required after a student is offered admission. We will request financials in the offer of admission letter and with the offer at the offer admission letter and scholarship stage. Once the students have accepted their offer of admission and of scholarship, then they will be required to provide their financials at that point, and then we'll create an I-20 after they submit those financials.
So in regards to financials, what about as in sponsor? Are only parents are accepted or maternal aunt, auntie?
I don't care where the money comes from. So
any relative is accepted.
Yeah, pretty much any relative, an employer, family members, employer, all those things are good for us. How much GPA is required for UG and PG? I'm guessing you mean for admission. We will admit an undergrad student with a GPA of 2.5 or higher. Please note that scholarships do not start until 3.0 or higher for undergrads. Postgrads, if you don't have a 3.0 GPA and applying for a master's program, you should probably not apply from your undergraduate program because your chance of being accepted into a department with a GPA lower than a 3.0 is very slim. TAT for offer and I-20. I have no idea what TAT means. Somebody wants to
Turnaround
explain that
time.
to
Turnaround
do what? One more time.
Turnaround time.
Oh, turnaround time. Depends on the student. If we send an offer out and a student accepts it right away, and I mean, like sends it back the next day or so, we can usually have an I-20 to them in about 2 weeks, as long as they've submitted all their financials and all the things that we require. However, we have tons and tons of students who always want a quick I-20, but they never send us their financials or they never sign the paperwork. And then they wait a month and then they call us over to where their I-20 is and they've never signed anything or accepted anything.
What
So your
about the offer turnaround time, Michael?
offer turnaround time for an undergraduate is about a month. For graduate programs, that is different. That can be up to 3 or 4 months, depending on the graduate program. I have no control over master's and PhD programs on how they offer. So if you contact me and say, hey, we've submitted an application for the student, only thing I can tell you is that it was submitted to the department and they're reviewing it. I wish there was a better answer for that, but there is not. The departments control their own acceptance policies for all students, and they review them. If you apply during the busiest time of the application season, please know that application will take much longer to process. Applicants that are applying right now have a pretty good chance for undergrads of getting their information done very quickly. Is agent tagging possible after the application is submitted? It is, however, the student will need to contact us and say, this is the agent that I'm using. So they'll have to submit that to us. And then also, you all will have to submit to me that you are wanting to have the student contact you, but the student also has to tell me that they are using you as an agent. I will not take your word for it. But I do need to have the student contact us and tell us that's the agent they're using. That's why it's very important if you can get that done right away when they're applying in that third-party contact section. Is there any specific financial form or support for the University of New Mexico? Of course there is. Students will be sent the financial forms that they need to fill out. Like all schools, they have to fill out a certificate of financial certification, which they and their financial folks, then their funders have to sign as an affidavit saying that they are supporting the students. So they will have to sign that. It comes out with the offer of admission. So they'll have to sign it at that time and accept that. Is a change of agent possible? As long as the student lets me know that they're changing their agent. You cannot contact me and say the student was an agent of Adventist. Now they're our student. That doesn't work that way. The student has to change the agent. That is the only way that happens. Is there an application fee? There are. So for undergraduates, that application fee is $50, $50. We do not waive that fee ever. And there is an application fee for graduate applications, which is $70, which is very affordable for application fees for graduate school. And that fee cannot be waived by me at all, ever. However, some academic departments may waive application fees. Again, that's up to the students to request that fee waiver from the department. However, there are only that I can think of 3 departments that have ever waived application fees. So not many. We also do not offer coupons for Duolingo or English proficiency exams. So don't ask. It's just not going to happen. Because if we start doing that for one, we have to do it for everybody. And I don't have that kind of time in my day to do that. All right. Any more questions? I think we covered everything in there.
Yes, Michael, I have few questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. In regards to the agent tagging, the change of agent, so even if the student has received an offer, maybe the student applied on his own and he got an offer, and then later on he wants to appoint GB as their agent. So is it possible after offer?
No.
Okay.
Hi, Michael. I would like to ask one question.
Sure thing, Yash. What's up?
Yeah, so that is about the MOI. You mentioned that MOI is not accepted, but as per our previous, like my previous knowledge, it used to accept the MOI. So is it like that, or it has stopped you accepting medium of instruction to waive English proficiency?
We do not accept medium of instruction to waive English proficiency, period. Do not. Now, if that student, um, no. So if they're from India, they will need to take an English proficiency exam. We do not waive that at all.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep, no worries. Sorry, I know it's a pain, but it's tough for us to keep track of. And I've gotten so many fraudulent MOIs over the years that it's just not worth my time. Transcript
So,
requirements 10, 11, 12 for undergrad. Yes, preferably 9th if they have it, but 10, 11, and 12 will work.
so Michael, as per my knowledge, New Mexico used to accept the MOI earlier for undergraduate as well as graduate. So has it changed recently?
As far as I know, no, it hasn't changed. It's as far as I know, we've not accepted it. I don't know if there was a policy in place before I got there or not. Uh, but I'm assuming I have no idea. Because those policies are up to me to make, and we are not accepting MOIs at all.
All right.
Thank you. Are predicted scores accepted for 12th grade for undergraduate students? Sort of, yes. So we will admit a student just on 11th grade scores as long as they still are in process of their 12th grade still in the process of their 12th grade program. Only thing that is a bummer is if their 11th grade scores allow them to receive the Amigo scholarship, and then their 12th grade scores are so low that it drags down their cumulative GPA, they may not receive the scholarship after we receive their 12th grade scores. So yes, we can use predicted scores for admission, but it may affect their scholarships. Inversely, if their 11th grade scores show that they can only receive the leadership scholarship, but their 12th grade scores drag up their cumulative GPA, then we would offer the Amigo scholarship. Public health does go through SOPAS. Good question. Anybody else?
Do you offer ESL program?
Yes, we do. I talked about that in the presentation. It's called CELAC at our school, Center for English Language and Culture. It's usually a full year program. Students can pick it up at pretty much at any time, and then we do take summer intakes for CELAC programs. Students who score high in our Pathways program in CELAC will be able to not have to take the TOEFL or the English proficiency exams if they pass the CELAC programs, pathway programs. It is very affordable. It is a great way for students to get in to the university, and we do offer conditional admission I-20s for our CELAC program and conditional admission offer letters for students who are in the CELAC program. This helps the student's visa appointment go a little bit more smooth.
Okay.
There is
And
no There
Yeah.
is no deposits. We do not take deposits in any way, shape, or form from students. Students do not pay for anything at the University of New Mexico until they arrive at the University of New Mexico. There are no deposits. So if anybody asks for a deposit from the University of New Mexico, be very wary. That is not something that we do.
Okay. So are these ESL program commissionable?
Yes.
Okay. And what about the
Yep.
transfer applications? Are they commissionable?
Yes,
Okay.
they are.
Okay. Michael, can you also help us with the deferment process? How do we defer the application and offer?
So student reaches out to us and says they wish to defer. We will then send them a deferral form to fill out. The student fills out that form and submits it back to us. We will then change the student's semester of admission to a following semester, a spring or a fall. A student can only defer out one full academic year. So if they apply for fall of 25, as far as they can defer is fall of 2026. After fall of 26, they have to reapply for admission. This is graduate and undergraduate. And then we also will require, if it's a graduate student, then we also require the student to contact their academic department and let them know that they have deferred. We also will contact the department, but it's always better for the students in the graduate programs to contact their academic department and have that discussion. Because if a student is admitted for fall of 25 and then they decide they can't make it to the US and decide they want to defer to fall of 26, admission is not guaranteed. They will need to go back through the review process.
Okay.
For undergraduates, it is guaranteed. If they defer, we're going to admit them. That's no big deal for the next semester. But for graduates, it is not guaranteed. They go back through the whole process again of being reviewed.
Okay. Is there any
Is ex-
deferment fee?
No, there is no additional fee. The application fee is just transferred with the deferral. But if they have to reapply after the year, then they pay the fee again. Is extension available for visa book students? I don't know what that means. Is it, you mean extension so they can start late or what?
Extension to arrive on the campus if they are delayed by, few days.
So undergraduate students must arrive before the start of classes, no exceptions. If they can't, they should defer their admission. Master students can arrive up to a week late. PhD students can arrive up to 2 weeks late with permission from their department.
So if they are
So
late, Michael, do they need to write an email to the university and confirm, and only then they're allowed to extend it up to 1 month, 1 week?
correct, yes. Yes. They have to let us know, because if a student just shows up a week late or 2 weeks late without letting anybody know, we will send them back. Because having a student start late at a university that they've never attended and for the first time, as you know, is a very huge hassle for everybody. And it is very stressful for the students, and it is just a hard time to get students caught up if they miss too much of the first beginning parts of the semester. The nursing program is commissionable. Students from non-math backgrounds in high school are eligible to apply for BSs in computer science. No, they are not. If a student comes to us with no math whatsoever, we will generally deny their applications for undergraduate. We will recommend that they go to the community college first, locally, which is the Central New Mexico Community College, and work on their maths there. All maths are required for admission to the University of New Mexico. So students have to have 2 semesters of laboratory science, at least 2 years of math, at least 2 years of native language study or their language study, and some arts and humanities classes mixed in there before we can admit those students. So non-maths folks should not even bother to apply, which I'm sorry for. But the best thing they can do is actually go to Central New Mexico Community College, which is 2 blocks down the road from us. My friend Deanna there is really good at working with students and getting them up to speed so that they can then transfer to the University of New Mexico. We have great transfer scholarships from inside New Mexico. Again, it's pretty much like the Amigo Scholarship where their tuition is reduced very low, which is awesome. But yeah, non-math background are tough for us at the University of New Mexico. This nursing program and RN program, our fresh graduates can apply. It is both. So we have RN programs, we have doctors of nursing programs, and we have traditional fresh graduates programs. So what should happen is the student should apply for a nursing or biology or chemistry and then apply to be allowed into the nursing school as an undergraduate. So, and if just because you apply and are accepted to the university as a nursing student, you may not be eligible to get into the nursing program. It is very competitive. You need to have close to a 4.0 GPA as an undergraduate applying to the nursing program once you're here at the university. Is there any math requirements for BS in nursing? Again, you will not be admitted to the university unless you have math in your background. So you need to have at least college algebra, maybe some trig would be helpful, geometry, things along those lines. You will not be admitted to the university unless you have those under any program. That's a requirement of the state of New Mexico.
Michael, as an agent, how do we follow up on students' cases, like offer follow-up, I-20
Email me
follow-up?
directly.
Okay.
Yes, so because I need to keep your follow-ups out of our main email string because that email string sees 200 or 300 emails a day, and you will get lost in there if you email me directly. I only see about 100 emails a day, so that makes it a little easier for me to see what's going on. 3-year degrees at any NACS? No, 3-year degrees only at the A-ranked schools. The B-ranked schools, those students should apply to the Central New Mexico Community College. They have their admission policy is a bit different than ours. However, almost all of the classes that a student will take at the community college transfer directly to the University of New Mexico. It's a fantastic community college. It's a little more affordable for lower income families to attend the community college. And nearly all the international students that go to the community college attend the University of New Mexico. And again, we're only 2 blocks, 3 blocks up the street from the community college. So those students spend a lot of time on our campuses, and we spend a lot of time with each other. Alrighty, gang, I have like 3 more minutes left before I have to move on to my next meeting at 7:30. So anybody have any additional questions for follow-up?
Thank you so much, Michael. If there are any questions, we will send it to you via email. Thank you for your time
You're
and the
welcome.
wonderful
And
session.
I will send you the PowerPoint here shortly and a bunch more information, just links and different things like that that'll be helpful for your staff
Sure.
and for everybody there. So, all right, you all have a good morning. I am off to a meeting in Nepal. This is my
Sure.
next meeting. So you all take care. Have a great day.
Have a good day.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everybody.
much. Thank you, team.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.